Well, this week's Bushel Up, we want to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll start with the good. There's been a lot of bad and ugly this last week, but on the good side, man, there's some good-looking fields in places as we've finally picked up some heat and really taken off as this corn hits that V5, V6. We're seeing some of it progress into that V7, V8 stage and seeing the countryside really green up in places. So we do have some great looking crops in a lot of areas that look really good now that we finally got them off and growing, got rid of this cold weather, and now we're into some heat and good growing conditions. So that brings us to a couple things. Time to start watching a little bit of irrigation. We're also going to be watching rootworm hatch. That's occurred. We're just kind of waiting to see those larvae and what we're going to size up as far as rootworm feeding for this year. And we expect to see some things such as Japanese beetles and so forth emerge here pretty quickly. So we'll transition to insects. Obviously, we're finishing up some weed control, dodging the wind and stuff here a little bit, but make sure you're getting those last passes of herbicide on. Getting that side dress fertilizer on, and things are really taking off and starting to look good here. So at V7, we're seeing some of that early. If you got a fungicide program, that's one thing you can look at, that V7 to V10 type fungicide, protect yourself, along with some micronutrient and biostimulant applications. So realize a crew here at Aurora, we put our herbicide on about 4 or 5 days ago. We're coming back with our Realize and Accrue treatments, stimulating this crop, putting a little bit of water on to get our herbicide watered in, and we should really be set and watch this stuff fly. So that's the good part. The bad and the ugly was the hail last week. We filmed a video on Tuesday. Little did we know Tuesday night we would get more hail, especially areas, Wood River, Hastings, we think of Henderson. A lot of areas affected. It's hard to even rattle them off. That was a big storm. Multiple cells covered a lot of areas. So I know some of you guys are having to go into a replant scenario. 3 things when you're replanting. Number 1, understand you're going to have small corn and we're going to have that rootworm hatch. So make sure you have a plan for insecticide or traits. I know sometimes we just throw in, replant, let's just plant it, get it over with. I'm going to do the same thing today. I've never been less excited to hop in a planter tractor, and I know some of you are the same way. It's no fun when we're doing that now, but make sure we still have a plan that we don't set ourselves up for failure. So watch that rootworm, know what you got for insecticide options, seed treatments, especially if you're replanting soybeans. A lot of the seed treatments have good coverage, replant policies. Again, even though we're planting late and that seed will come out of the ground, we're still susceptible to disease, insects. So make sure you're taking time to get seed treatments on, especially the soybeans. And then finally, herbicides. I know our guys and gals have been working with you a lot over the past few days, coming up with a program where we're not up against our maximum active ingredient loads. And we're going to have to change up some modes and rethink things, maybe have to throw some cultivation in. But make sure you got that all planned out. I know the adjusters are around making decisions, and there's no right or wrong on this. I know there's some tough decisions being made, whether you replant, whether you go to a different crop, whether you just try to hang on with what you got. But we're here to help. Let us know. We're in the same scenario at Hastings with Owner's Acres. Down there, 200 acres, 50 acres is fine. But we caught the edge of the storm, and we've got 30,000 plants on soybeans, looking at 15 to 20,000 on corn, and kind of in that no man's land is what we decide. So we'll keep you posted, but reach out. We're here to help. Look at your fields, help you come up with some plans and put a good plan forward and make the best of a bad situation. Finally, make sure you watch out for the heat, stay safe, stay cool, hydrated, all that stuff. Heat is more dangerous than any other event we face in ag. We're outdoors. There's more deaths and injuries due to heat than anything else. So be careful this week and stay safe, and we'll see you next week.